when we see books, you will find like a lot of index kind of thing at the back side of your book. Those index contain all those data which are changeable in nature. Hence, there are certain things which keep on updating and keep on changing. For that, schedules were added in our constitution. Got it? Yes or no? Yeah. How many schedules?
12 schedules, sir.
12 schedules. Were these schedules only 12 from starting?
No, sir.
How many were there in the beginning?
8 schedules, sir.
8 schedules were there, right? 8 schedules were there. Later on, with amendments, this schedule kept on increasing. Got it? They kept on increasing. And now we have 12 schedules in total. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Let us talk about schedules. There are 12 schedules, out of which the first one contains what? You keep on telling me. What is there in the first schedule?
About union and territories. Territory
Names of, very good. I wanted this term, names of union and its territory. Right? How many states are there? What are the state types like UTs and states? India, the composition of India, you will find in this schedule, right? All the 28 states are there. The union territories are there, right? How many union territories do you have right now? Yeah.
8, I guess, or maybe.
Maybe.
Confused a bit.
Let's name it, right? Let's name it. That will be easier way to remember, right? Come on, you tell, I will write. All of you must participate in the class. Only 1 or 2 participations I am saying. Yeah, tell me. Tell me the names, because we will learn together. It is not that I am teaching, you are receiving, you will sleep and you will go. It is not like that. Tell me the names of the
Jammu and Kashmir.
Jammu and Kashmir has become one union territory. Very good. Number 2, Ladakh is there. Very good.
Chandigarh.
Yeah, Chandigarh. Yeah, Chandigarh.
Delhi.
NCT of Delhi. Very good. NCT
Dadra,
of
Nagar Haveli, and Daman and Diu.
NCT of Delhi. Yeah, Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. Right? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Others?
Andaman Nicobar.
Andaman Nicobar. Andaman Nicobar. And
Pondicherry.
Pondicherry. Very good.
Lakshadweep.
And Lakshadweep. Yes. Are all the union territories covered? Are all the union territories covered?
Yes, sir.
All are covered. All are covered. The new thing which happened was Jammu Kashmir was a state and it got divided into 2 union territories. Similarly, Dadar and Nagar Haveli was a separate union territory and Daman and Diu was a separate union territory. They got merged into one, and Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh became 2 new union territories. So we have the number 8, right? 8 union territories we have. Why the status of union territory of Delhi is different? Yeah. Why it is called National Capital Territory of Delhi? Yes. Because Constitution has given a special provision for that. Because it is a capital territory, it needs to be governed in a very different manner. For that, they have created the High Court there and they have created the Legislative Assembly. Delhi is the only union territory having both Legislative Assembly and High Court. Apart from Delhi, only Pondicherry have legislative assembly, but no high court. Correct? Okay. So these things, the names of the union territories and the states are mentioned in first schedule of the constitution. What is there in the second schedule of the constitution? Yes.
Salary. Emoluments, sir.
Emoluments means the salaries and emoluments of the dignitaries. Emoluments, salaries of various dignitaries are mentioned in this, right? The salary of president, vice president, speaker, deputy speaker, all these are mentioned there. What salary they will get, what kind of perk they will get. Next is third schedule. What is there?
Oath.
Oath.
Yes.
Who will take what kind of oath? This is also a changeable thing, right? So oaths were kept in one category, that is third schedule of the constitution. Because the nature and the duties and the responsibilities of every dignitary is different. The nature and responsibility of president is different. The nature and responsibility of speaker is different. The nature and responsibility of Chief Justice of India or the other judges is different. So the oaths vary, right? Because oaths are a kind of commitment, right? And these are the directions on which a person works, right? Then comes number 4. What is there?
Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha seats.
Not Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha seats. Not Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha seats. How many seats are allocated from a certain state, right? Every state has certain kind of seat allocation for Rajya Sabha. That is mentioned in fourth schedule of the constitution. As we have seen in the United States, they have upper house. In that upper house, what they do, they have fixed number of Senate, fixed number of members. That is 100 members should be there. And from each state, equal representation is there. State is small or big, they will have 2 members sitting from that state in that house. But that is not the case in India. In India, every state has, in fact, number of seats allocated for itself according to the population. Getting it? And that's why it is unequal. Though there are many recommendations, Punchi Commission recommended that they should have equal seats like America, but that is not done yet, and nobody is talking on those lines, right? So Rajya Sabha seats are different for different states, and that allocation is mentioned in part 4 of the schedule 4 of the constitution. What comes in schedule 5? Yeah, very important. Schedule 5.
Administration and control of scheduled areas and STs.
Very good. Administration and control of scheduled areas and scheduled tribes. What are scheduled areas? You might be knowing it better because you have
excluded areas.
Why they are exclusive? On what grounds they are exclusive?
Geography.
Because of there are a lot of criteria, because of certain conditions, geographical, cultural, right, and administrative. All those conditions together, or historical conditions are there, because of which these areas have different kind of cultural or political systems to govern these areas according to those cultural or political system, or there is a economic backwardness or lack of economic development, so they need special focus, right? These things are mentioned in Article 244(1) of the Constitution, right? Getting it? Then comes Schedule 6.
Northeast region.
What is Schedule 6? Yeah. Spatial administrative regions, administration of tribal areas. Administrative regions and administration of tribal areas in some state. What are those states?
Assam, Meghalaya.
Assam, Meghalaya,
Tripura,
Tripura, Mizoram.
AMTM or ATM-M, whatever you can remember. Special administration of tribal areas in these regions, right? Because these areas were sensitive those days. Because of the sensitivity of those areas, they were allocated a special position in Schedule 6 of the Constitution. These areas are known as Schedule 6 areas. Schedule 7. What is there in Schedule 7?
Union and state power.
Yes.
Congruent and state, please, sir.
Or we
Central,
can
state, only.
federal distribution of subjects. Federal distribution of subjects. It contains 3 lists, right? Union list, state list, and concurrent list, right? What is there in union list? Union list contains subjects, all those items or the subjects on which who will make the law? Union government or the central government will make the law. Initially, there were 97 subjects in it. Now there are 100 subjects. How many subjects? 100 subjects. Got it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, the state list contains all the subjects or the issues on which the state will make the law. State will make the law. These are the federal distribution of legislative subject, you can say. Legislative means on which the laws are made. There are division of subjects like these are the items on which state will make law. These are the items on which center will make law. Suppose the issue of policing is there. Who makes law on policing?
State, sir.
State makes the law on policing. On defense issues,
Center.
center makes the law. So there should be proper differentiation of the task. It is kind of division of labor, we can say, on legislative issues. Right? How many items are there in state list? It was originally was 66, but now it is 61. There are 61 items on which state government makes law. Similarly, you have the third list that is known as concurrent list. Means on the subject mentioned in this list, both center and state can make law. Initially, there were 47 subjects, but now there are 52 subjects. How many subjects? 52 subjects are there. 52 items are there on which both can make law. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? So, these are the concurrent list on which state and center both can make law. Suppose center has made any law. Can the state overrule that by making another law?
No, sir.
No. It needs the permission of the president for doing that, right? Similarly, if there is a law made by the state, can the center make another law on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Parliament has the power to make another law on the state subject mentioned in the concurrent list. Getting it? Suppose education is there. There is some law made by the state on education, and center wants something different. It makes another law and implements or imposes that law in that state. Whose law will prevail? Center's law will prevail. And this shows that we are tilted more towards the center. Apart from these subjects, there are certain subjects known as residuary subjects. Those residuary subjects are kept under the purview of central government, right? We'll talk about that later on. We are talking about the schedules only. So we will focus on schedules. 8th schedule. What is there in 8th schedule?
Official language, sir.
Official language. How many languages are there?
22.
22 official languages are there. Then you have ninth schedule. Ninth schedule talks about what? It was added by the First Amendment Act. What was there?
It was about land reform, sir, maybe.
Land reforms. Laws related to land reforms. Because in 1951, lot of issues started cropping up because of right to property. People used to conflict on the properties taken by the government for development purpose. So Jawaharlal Nehru thought to make such law, because land reform, he was passing anti-jamindari laws and all those things, so that the distribution of proper distribution of resources could take place in our country, especially the land. So land reform laws were, when made, they were directly challenged in Supreme Court because they used to violate the right to property of the fundamental right. And fundamental right says that हमसे जो टकराएगा चूर चूर हो जाएगा. That means fundamental right, if any law is violative of fundamental right, that law will become null and void. So to avoid this situation, he created a schedule, that is land reform law should be kept in ninth schedule. And by adding one more provision in Article 31, the government of the India, that is central government, said that the laws which are kept in ninth schedule are in fact immune to the violation of fundamental rights. Even if they violate the fundamental rights, they will not become null and void. Right? Getting it? So land reform के जितने भी laws थे यहाँ रख दिए गए. Getting it? Next is 10th schedule. What is there in 10th schedule? Yes, very important.
Disqualification of
Anti-defection law.
Anti-defection law. Very good. Anti-defection. A lot of issues started cropping up. Means one person was in X party in the morning, evening he used to be in the other party. Ayaram, Gayaram. They used to frequently leave one party and join another party for the benefit of getting a ministerial berth or like that. So to avoid that situation, anti-defection laws were brought in, right? First, they were in fact tried to they tried to bring it in 1973, but they failed. But later on, in 1985, 52nd Amendment Act, by 52nd Amendment Act, this was brought by First Amendment Act. This was brought by 52nd Amendment Act. Getting it? In 1985. So anti-defection law was brought that if any person is trying to get elected on the ticket of certain party and wants to leave that party after election, those kind of cheatings were to be stopped. So anti-defection law was brought in. We will discuss this law in detail later on. Getting it? Anti-defection law, 10th schedule. What is there in the 11th schedule? What is there in 11th schedule? Panchayats. Will anybody be able to tell me in 11th schedule what is mentioned about panchayats? Everybody talks about that panchayat. It talks about panchayat. But what is mentioned there? What issue of panchayat is referred here in the 11th schedule? It was brought by... Yeah, tell me.
Panchayat power.
The functions. It is also similar to the 8th schedule thing. 7th schedule thing. In 7th schedule, you found that there are subjects on which union will act. There are subjects on which state will act, right? Similarly, panchayats were given certain list of functions which they will, in fact, do. There are 29 items mentioned in 11th schedule on which the panchayats do function. Similarly, you have 12th schedule. 12th schedule talks about municipalities. It was introduced by 74th Amendment Act, and it mentions around 18 items on which the municipal communities or municipal councils will function. So list of items on which the panchayat function, list of items on which the municipalities function. It is kind of division of work between the state and the panchayats. or the state and the municipalities, because these functions were previously done by the states. Now those functions are being shared by panchayats. Getting it? Now, how to remember this? How to remember this? There are 12 schedules. It is very tough many times for many people to remember these things, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there is a trick for that. And the trick is I shall write here. It will be better if I write this side. We don't have any space. Let it be here only. First schedule T, second schedule E, A, R, S, O, F, O, L, D, E, M. Tiers of old PM. Tiers of old PM is the trick which you can use to recall these things, right? I will explain that. Seven, 12, right? Tiers of old PM. The first talks about the territories. Territories of India means the territory of India consists of state and union territories. Then you have E for emoluments. Then A. A is what? Affirmation. Oath and affirmation. Then you have R. R means Rajya Sabha seats. Then you have S. Scheduled areas. Then other areas, other tribal areas. Then F means federal list. O is official language. Then L is land reforms. Then D for defection, anti-defection. Then P for panchayats. And M for municipalities. Very common mnemonics, we can say. This is a mnemonic through which you can remember or recall very easily. Tears of old PM. Just imagine Prime Minister Manmohan Singh crying, right? Tears of old PM. Yes? Shall I move ahead? Everybody took it, noted it properly?
Yes, sir. Page. I am getting different. Just a minute. Okay. Let's talk about the preamble now. We'll talk about what is preamble? Preamble of the Constitution. Preamble means it is a kind of preface to any book. Suppose you are going to read a book. In the first page of the book, generally the writer wants
you to know that what you are going to read about in this book. That is the preface of book. But preamble is something sacrosanct. It is something different from preface in the sense that it contains the philosophy of the total constitution. This concept of preamble started with the American Constitution. The American Constitution was the first constitution to begin this kind of system of taking preambles. With preamble. Indian Constitution was inspired from the objective resolution. It was inspired from the objective resolution. Do you remember this topic? Resolution. Objective resolution.
Yes,
Who
sir.
presented this objective resolution of the Constituent Assembly?
Nehru.
Jawaharlal Nehru
Jawaharlal.
on 13 December 1946. Right? So inspiration actually comes from there. Right? But the wordings are shaped by the preamble of United Nations actually. Right? The inspiration and the theme comes from this objective resolution. Can you tell me one thing? Preamble is found before the Constitution starts. Was it written before the Constitution or it was written after the Constitution got completed?
After.
After the Constitution got completed, it was written. Because we had the objective resolution on which we focused. This shaped our Constitution. And when the Constitution was prepared, then we started a plan about writing preamble. Actually, preamble is the summary or the philosophy of the Constitution. Preamble is the summary or the philosophy of the Constitution. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
What it reflects? It reflects actually the minds of the Constitution maker. What they wanted. What kind of, because only writing provisions will not help the government to run easily. There is a lot of gaps in that. To fill that gap, they have provided a guiding light, that is the preamble of the Constitution. Getting it? Preamble not only talks about the summary or the philosophy. We can say that preamble is actually a guiding force for Constitution, because in lot of cases, Supreme Court has said that whenever the Constitution maker, the lawmakers are in confusion, or when there is a conflict in the minds of the judiciary, they should look into the preamble to find out the real essence or the real meaning which the Constitution makers wanted to convey. Right? So it is an essence of the Constitution. It is the introduction or the preface of the Constitution. Right? It is the introduction or preface of the Constitution. You can say this because sometimes they give sentences like this and they ask question. Right? You can also write that the preamble embodies the basic philosophy and fundamental values like political, moral, and religious, on which the Constitution is based. All those political morals, all those moral values, all those religious values, which are being seen in our society,
Those are guided by the philosophy of the preamble. Got it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
The preamble of the Constitution contains mainly four things. Preamble talks about what is the source of the Constitution, right? When it says that we the people of India, our Constitution starts with we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into, right? So when we say this, we the people of India, it declares the source of the Constitution, that we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into such and such, right? When we say that we want to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic, what we are indicating? We are indicating the nature of the state. When the preamble says that, okay, we have a country named India, all the power of this country lies with the people of India. And these people want to create India as a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic. Yes or no? It says, it declares the nature of the Constitution. It declares the nature of the Constitution. It declares the source of the Constitution. And what next it declares? Yes. What is the next component of the preamble? The objective. Why this Constitution is being created? The objective of Constitution. What is the objective of the Constitution? Yeah, tell me. Yes. Justice. Yes, very good.
Political
Justice, equality, liberty, equality. Yes or no? Fraternity. Right? The objective of the Constitution is to create justice. What kind of justice? The preamble also declares what kind of justice. Can you tell me what type of justice?
social, economical, political.
Social, economic, and political. Very clearly it is mentioned. Social justice, economic justice, and political justice. Means no one should be deprived politically, no one should be deprived economically, no one should be deprived socially, right? Similarly, it gives the concept of liberty. What kind of liberty? Liberty of thought. You can write it down. Liberty of thought, liberty of expression, liberty of belief. Yes, liberty of faith and worship. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Getting it? What kind of equality? Who will tell this? What kind of equality is being described or prescribed in the preamble of the Constitution? Equality of status and opportunity. Equality of status and opportunity. These two kind of lot of questions are being asked on these concepts only. Equality. What kind of equality? Status and opportunity. Liberty. What kind of liberty? Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. What kind of justice? Social, economic, and political justice. Right? And to promote among them all what? Fraternity. Right? Why fraternity? Because if there is brotherhood, if there is brotherhood, it declares fraternity. which assures the dignity of the individual. Yes or no? It ensures the dignity of the individual through brotherhood. Through brotherhood. I will respect you, you will respect me. This is fraternity. I will keep your values in mind so that they are not violated. You will keep my values in mind so that these values are not violated. Getting it? And another objective which was there was integrity, right? Unity and integrity of the nation. Actually, fraternity contains this value, but to describe it more clearly, unity and integrity was added. So these are the three components. The fourth component was date. Date of commencement of this constitution, right? Now, when we say that in the preamble it is written like, we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic, right? And to secure to all its citizens what? Secure justice, liberty of thought expression, belief and worship, equality of status and opportunity, and to promote among them all what? Fraternity, right? Assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation, right? Getting it? Yes or no? Then
Yes,
it
sir.
talks about, in the last para, it talks about the date. In our Constituent Assembly, on this 26th day of November 1949, to hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves. Who is giving this in Constitution? We, the people of India. And to whom? On this 26th November 1949, we have given this Constitution to ourselves. Yes or no? These are the four components of the preamble. In the last line, we can also add the fifth thing, that is acceptance. Acceptance. We, the people of India, have accepted to enact, adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this constitution. Got it or not? Yes or
Yes, sir.
no? Which preamble is treated as the best preamble in the world? It was the American preamble, they used to say. But after the Indian Constitution came into existence, the people say that this is the best preamble written ever by any country. Even there was the writer Ernest Becker. Sir Ernest Becker, in fact, started his book, The Principles of Social and Political Theory, in 1951, with the preamble of India. He was so much impressed by the preamble of India. Getting it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now let us see that we have the preamble. There are a lot of words in it. We will discuss those words. But let us specify the nature of the preamble itself. The nature of the preamble itself. Right? First question which was raised was, is preamble part of Constitution or not? This question was raised. What is your answer on this? Yes?
Yes, sir.
It is preamble is part of the Constitution or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is.
But this was not so simple. In 1960, in a case named Berubari case, you must have heard about Berubari
Yes,
Union.
sir.
Yeah. Berubari Union case was about a territory which was, in fact, the territory of East Pakistan, but it was given to India. And they demanded that this territory should be in our territory, our boundary. You should give it to us. But it was not so easy to give away a territory from India to any other country. So this case, when came into Supreme Court, this first question came that preamble says that India is an integral part, right? So unity and integrity of India should not be broken. So there was a lot of questions being asked in Supreme Court, but Supreme Court opined that if preamble is saying anything, we are not going to bother about this. Preamble is not part of the Constitution. Supreme Court says this. Supreme Court said that preamble is not a part of Constitution. When? In 1960. But later on, again, in 1973, this question was cropped up again in another case known as very famous case, Kesavananda Bharti case. Right? In this case, the Supreme Court held that preamble is a part of the Constitution. Part of Constitution. It was one of the, not one of the, till date, it is the largest bench. What is bench, do you know? When the judges sit for certain cases, they sit either 2 or 3 or 5 or 7 or 8 or 9 in numbers, right? They sit in numbers. But when there is an issue related to any constitution, the constitutional benches are formed. Those benches, which are denoted as constitutional benches, they should have minimum of five judges, right? They should have minimum of 5 judges to hear the case. But this case had 13 judges. How many judges? 13 judges were there to hear this case. Till date, this is the largest bench ever held in Supreme Court. Got it? Yes or no? What happened in Kesavananda Bharti case? The judge said that it is not that we are saying that preamble is a part of the Constitution. Even there was a question asked in the Constituent Assembly by the President of the Constituent Assembly, that is Dr. Rajendra Prasad, that preamble is a part of Constitution or not. Do you all agree with this? So unanimously, most of the people agreed that preamble should be made the part of the Constitution. So taking the pages from history and also by deciding their own wisdom, deciding through their own wisdom, they came to the point that preamble is the part of the Constitution. Right? Again, in 1995, another case came up. That was the LIC of India case. LIC of India case. It is also known as confirmation case. In this case also, this question was again asked that should we go with the Kesavananda Bharti case? Kesavananda Bharti case that says that preamble is a part of the Constitution. The Supreme Court again confirmed that preamble is a part of Constitution. So now we stand at that preamble is a part of Constitution. In Kesavananda Bharti and LIC of India case, Supreme Court confirmed this twice. Got it? Yes or no? If it is a part of Constitution, is it amendable? The next question cropped up. Is it amendable? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is amendable, right? It is amendable. Has it been amended?
Yes, sir. Only once.
Only once till date. Preamble is amendable. These are the questions they keep on asking. Amendable. Right? But in Kesavananda Bharti case, the Supreme Court added one sentence to it that yes, preamble is amendable, but the basic structure of the preamble cannot be, right? Basic features cannot be distorted, cannot be changed, cannot be amended, right? The concept of basic feature came in 1973 case 1 and Bharti case, and they said that there are some essence in the preamble which cannot be changed, though you can change certain wordings. So once it was amended, when it was amended in 1976, 42nd Amendment Act, we added 3 new things, 3 new words here. What are those words? Yes.
Socialist, secular, and integrated.
Socialist,
Secular, and integrated.
secular, and integrity. 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 Socialist, secular, and integrity. These 3 words were added. This happened after the national emergency, because during national emergency, a lot of things happened. So the politicians were of the fear that many government will come in future. They may change the character of the socialist nature of the country. They may change the secularism of the country. They may change the integrity of the country. So they thought it fit to add these words in the preamble itself. Getting it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There are certain sentences which are asked in our examination related to preamble, right? These quotes, they will give you these quotes and they will ask who said this, right? Justice Hidayatullah said that preamble, I'm writing P, preamble resembles the Declaration of Independence of USA. But it is more than a declaration. It is a declaration, but it is similar to the USA's Declaration of Independence, but it is more than that. Got it? He also said that, Justice Hidayatullah also said that it is sold to our Constitution. It is sold to our Constitution. And he, in fact, pointed out a very important point which was being discussed in recent elections, that this preamble contains a solemn resolve. Solemn resolve. Resolve means a resolution. A resolution which is backed by promise of the country's people. This resolve cannot be taken away. This resolve cannot be broken. Which nothing but a revolution can alter. This sentence was also asked in one of the examinations. It contains a solemn resolve which nothing but a revolution can alter. People were saying during that election, this last general election, people were saying that government will change the constitution. They will bring a new constitution. This constitution can be thrown away. Can we throw away our constitution? Do we have any process through which we can remove this constitution and bring a new constitution?
No, sir.
Nothing is written in our constitution. But Justice Hidayatullah's this sentence clears the cloud. It says that it cannot be changed. The constitution can only be thrown away by a revolution. If a mass revolution comes in our country, that can only change the constitution. Otherwise, there is no provision, no power in our country who can change the constitution. They can amend the constitution as many times, but they cannot change this constitution into a new one. Yeah. Tabin, you wanted to say something.
No.
Okay. Anyways, another important sentence which is been asked I have taken all those sentences which are asked in examinations of PSC, SSC, CDS, CPF, and UPSC. Right? Majorly, UPSC do not ask these questions, but other examinations they take it seriously. Right? K.M. Munshi, the sentence of K.M. Munshi. This was also asked. K.M. Munshi said that preamble is the horoscope of sovereign democratic republic. K.M. Munshi said this, right? Similarly, the most important one which is asked in most of the examination is N.A. Palikiwala's statement. Nani Palikiwala, N.A. Palikiwala. He said that the preamble is the identity card of the Constitution. Identity card. Most famously, this was asked in many examinations. That preamble is the identity card of the Constitution. Who said this? N.A. Palkhiwala said this. Got it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any question till now on preamble? Any question on preamble?
No, sir.
Any on preamble? Next class, we will discuss some of the terms of the preamble.